Welcome to the Wholesaling Freedom channel, where I teach you exactly how I quit my 9-to-5 job and built a successful wholesaling business. If you're new here, my name is Ralph, and I quit the rat race and I became a full-time real estate entrepreneur. And today I want to share the story with you of how I actually got laid off and how it was the best thing that ever happened to me. First things first, I'm a first-generation American, first-generation college graduate, and a first-generation entrepreneur. My parents are from the lovely island of Haiti, and they emigrated to this country to give my siblings and I a better life than they could provide for us in Haiti. Both my parents worked extremely hard. I mean, they worked themselves to the bone, and they put my siblings and I through private school because education was everything to them. I was always told, go to school, get a college degree so you could get a good job, and work that job until you die. Or at least right before you're about to die, and then you retire, and then you die. So I did just that. I got a degree in business management, and I worked in the nonprofit education sector for over 15 years. And I used to work so hard. First one at the job, last one to leave, always going above and beyond in whatever job I had. And even though I was working so hard, I still couldn't make ends meet. A lot of people have extra money left over at the end of the month. I found myself in a position where I had extra month left over at the end of my money. And I even had to DJ part-time just to make ends meet. I was burning the candle at both ends of the stick, to the point where I even became a director for a high school in New York City, managing $1 million a year school budget. But then the unthinkable happened. July 29th, 2018, I got a call from my job letting me know that they were not renewing their contract with my agency and I was officially out of a job. I was laid off. I was devastated. I was broke, I had no savings, I had no job prospects lined up. In fact, I hadn't even been looking for a new job because I never thought that something like this would happen to me. And if you're watching this now and you're thinking that can't happen to you, you're wrong. All it takes is one decision from the people you're working for to be out of a job like that. And if you're watching this video and this has happened to you, maybe you're watching this video and you were recently laid off or you got fired, keep watching because I hope my story will inspire you to take the plunge into wholesaling full time. So I ended up going home and Googling how to make money fast legally, and real estate kept coming up. And I found this amazing stat that 90% of the world's millionaires became millionaires through investing in real estate. So I decided I was going to become a real estate investor myself. I bought the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki from Amazon, and I read that whole book in less than a week, and I became hooked. I was watching every YouTube video I could, I read a bunch of books on real estate, and I even went to my very first real estate investors meetup. And it was there that I learned about this idea of wholesaling. And I went home and I became even more obsessed. I started reading more, I started learning more and watching more and more YouTube videos about wholesaling, and it took me over a year to get my first wholesale deal. That's right, I was working day in and day out, calling sellers and making offers, and it took me over a year to get my first wholesale deal. But when I did get that first deal, I made $12,000. And this was more money than I had ever made in one check in my entire life. And my brain was broken. I couldn't believe that this was real. And I became even more obsessed. And I closed my second and my third deal soon after. And then I joined some coaching programs so I could learn from the people who were where I wanted to be. Eventually, after getting laid off, I ended up finding another job. But it was too late. At that point, my brain was already broken and I was unemployable. And it got to the point where I realized that I was making more money wholesaling part-time than I was making at my full-time job as a director. So I decided to take the plunge. I had ChatGPT write my resignation letter and I quit my 9-to-5 job. It was scary, it was bold, I didn't know what it was gonna be like to be my own boss, but looking back now, I knew it was the best decision ever to make. I mean, I could work from anywhere in the world. I have a small, lean, and mean team, and the biggest thing is that no one could ever lay me off again. No one could ever tell me that they no longer need me to work there and turn my whole life upside down. And if you're thinking about quitting your job, or maybe you're tired with the rat race, or maybe you're watching this video because you were recently laid off or fired, and you're thinking about giving wholesaling a try, well, I want to share with you 3 things real quick. The first thing is dive right in. Dive in head first. Learn everything you can about this business of real estate. Network. Go to meetups and meet people who are already real estate investors. Meet wholesalers in person and on social media. If you're anything like I was, we were all trained to be employees. We all went to schools that told us what time we had to be there and where to sit and when we could use the bathroom and when we could go home. They were training us to be the perfect employee. And that mindset, we have to get rid of it. And the best way to get rid of an old mindset is to fill your brain with new information to create a new mindset. Second thing I'll say is take action. Don't get stuck in analysis paralysis. Go out there and drive for dollars. Go out there and talk to real estate agents. Go out there and talk to homeowners who need to sell their house. Take action and get your first wholesale deal so that you can have proof of concept, and that will give you the fuel you need to jump into this business full time. And last but not least, hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I'll use them to make future videos and answer all of your wholesaling and real estate questions. So that's it. That's my story. I hope it inspired you. I hope it resonated with somebody. And if it did, please leave a note in the comments and I'll see you on the next video.